What is up, everyone? This is Kronos, aka Adam, back with my WWE Summerslam results, review, reaction. Unfortunately, I have to use my headset today because they are cutting down a tree outside my apartment, and it's the only way that I could be able to actually record without you hearing a chainsaw the entire time. So, it is what it is. Hopefully, we can get through it for just this one time. As always, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, comment. Social media is down there. SummerSlam happened last night, and you know what? Didn't see it coming. Most of the things I was actually really I enjoyed the pay per view, which is like crazy. I almost enjoyed it more than I did Takeover, which is I don't can't remember the last time I ever said that. So yeah, no, every match was pretty good. Yeah, there were some things here and there that they could have maybe I thought maybe could have done better, but overall, really enjoyed it. I was never bored by it. I was never like this is oh crap, here we go. But yeah, so I'm gonna go through all the matches. I did all right in my predictions. Not too great. So I'll go through those, and yeah, we'll just go down the line. All right. So first we have on the kickoff. So Angel, we had an interview with Angel Garza, Andrade, and Zelina. He's trying to give the rose to Sarah Schreiber, but it was actually intended for Charlie. Zelina calls her bootleg Charlie. Says, even if she did poison Montez Ford, he's fine. So, why is everyone getting all bent out of shape about it? Shayna crashes the panel later on, saying that whoever wins the Raw Women's title, she's got next. They mentioned about Nia. She says Nia is obsessed with her, and that Shayna will help her go to sleep when her suspension is up. I didn't even know she was really suspended. So the one match on the kickoff, we get Apollo Crews versus MVP. We get Apollo with a pre-match interview or promo. We get new music for MVP. He's clean shaven, looks younger. But overall, I mean, this was, the Hurt Business came out with him, but they were sent to the back because that's obviously, what the stipulation was by Apollo beating um, Shelton on the Go Home of Raw. So we got a superplex by MVP. Both took damage. We got Apollo with a tope con hilo. Both barely beat the 10 count. Apollo rips the nose tape off, which I thought was funny because that's obviously what MVP's been famous for. He hits two stinger splashes, a spine buster, a standing moonsault, but only gets a 2 count on MVP. Eventually, MVP goes for his finisher, and then Apollo counters that for the toss power bomb for the win. The Hurt Business come out to try and get Apollo. He escapes. It was kind of quick. It was only a pre-show match. Obviously, they're setting it up for whoever next. I'm assuming it's going to be Bobby Lashley is going to be the next contender for that match. But overall, pretty good match. Nothing too out of the ordinary. We then get to the main card. We start out as we thought we would with the SmackDown Women's Title, Bayley versus Asuka. This was just the first of two awesome matches by Asuka. Asuka with some it kicks, then a sitting octopus, but Bayley's able to get to the ropes. Hip attack sends Bayley to the apron, off the apron. We get Cole keeps stating that Bayley is favoring her shoulder, which I didn't really notice as much, but I'm guessing that she's had shoulder problems in the past, so obviously they want to kind of keep that going. Bayley hangs Asuka on the middle ropes twice, and then one of those she actually jumps from the middle rope and kind of like leg drops her. Sasha is yelling at Corey on the desk, obviously to mess with her. We get Bayley with a belly to belly for a 2 count. Asuka with a pop-up knee, a German release, a hip attack, but only gets the 2 count. Asuka driven knees first into the apron. Bayley with the chop block and then an Indian death lock. Asuka's able to reverse that into an ankle lock, but this is the kind of the beginning of where they were selling Asuka's knee injury, which obviously carried over into her Sasha match. So then we get a code breaker by Asuka for a 2 count, a missile drop kick attempt by Asuka. Bayley catches her into a knee bar. That was actually really cool. Asuka gets to the ropes. We get the sunset flip bomb that sends Asuka into the turnbuckle, which looked rough. She goes for an elbow drop, Bayley, but is caught into an armbar. Sasha is yelling at Asuka, which then distracts her and she lets go of the hold. She kicks Sasha. She goes to hip attack, misses Bayley, but hits Sasha, who's on the apron at this point, and then Bayley with the small package for the win. They double team Asuka. So Bayley retains. And as I said, I had with my predictions. So as far as confidence points go, for Apollo, it was my most confident match. I had 8 points of confidence on that. With Bailey, this kind of goes exactly how I thought it was going to go. I didn't think Asuka was going to leave with two belts, but I did think she was going to leave with one, which she did. I'll get to the match later, but exactly as I thought. So, but I only had 1 point of confidence on the Bailey match because I just wasn't sure. Both the Bailey and the Asuka match, I had 1 and 2. I just didn't know. So yeah, so this was the first really great match. So I was really excited about that. Even though I love Asuka. So we get Dom begs Ray backstage, asks him not to interfere in the match. Although I thought it was funny where he's just like, "Mom, can you give Dad and I a minute?" Even though they're being filmed. So yes, obviously Ray's wife, Dom's mom, was also backstage with them. So we get KO comes down to commentary. He's got a tie on, looking very official. He's there for the Raw Tag Team Title match, Street Profits versus Andrade and Angel Garza. I had picked Andrade and Angel Garza, even though I wanted the Street Profits to win. Is that correct? Yes. So they have it rain solo cups, which I thought was interesting, kind of cool. They get a pre-match promo as well. Street Profits, basically they just want the smoke. Andrade is just working real stiff to start. We get a standing Rana by Ford. Excuse me, on Andrade. Tope con Hilo by Ford caught and slammed on the floor. So he goes for his typical Tope con Hilo, gets caught, slammed on the floor by both of them. Ford's knees drop kick by Angel, an armbar against the rope by Andrade. So Ford usually this is what ends up happening. Ford takes the punishment from majority of the match. Then he gets like that diving hot tag to Dawkins, who then comes and clears house, which is pretty much what happened. Back elbow knocks the headband off of Dawkins. Dawkins counters with a spear. We get a frog splash rolled through, but Angel has his foot on the ropes. So Zelina's on the apron, gets knocked off the apron by Ford. Andrade, instead of staying in his corner, goes to tend to her. So then when Angel's looking for the tag, goes over, sees that Andrade's not there. They end up hitting the spinebuster, frog splash combo, the cash out for the win. I mean, the way Ford does it is he jumps one direction, does a 180, lands in the other direction. It's just crazy. And then also throughout the match, KO just kind of subtly said that Aleister Black will be his next guest on the KO show, which is interesting because obviously there's been rumors of a character change because for some reason Vince didn't like his character. I'm very nervous because Aleister Black is great, and I'm really worried that they're going to do something pretty shitty to him, give him some kind of stupid gimmick. I really hope not, but then again, I will wait and see. But I'm not very optimistic about it. So yeah, so the Raw Tag Team title, kayfabe, I did have Street Profits. I wanted them to win, but I had 5 points of confidence, but I don't get any because I picked Angel and Andrade. Backstage interview with Bailey and Sasha. So they're basically saying enough of your gotcha journalism to Kayla. Bailey's holding a broom apparently from she was holding it behind her the whole time, so they're going to sweep the night. I did think it was funny when Sasha said that now I know that Bailey can since Bailey can beat Asuka, I know I can beat it as if she's better. Bailey obviously you could see took some exception to that. She's like, no, I know you can win, but obviously this will carry over. So we get next is the loser leaves WWE match, Mandy versus Sonya. With her jackets, Sonya kind of looks like Broken Matt, which I thought was kind of funny. Obviously, as we've said, real life situations forced this match to kind of take on a different stipulation. It was supposed to be hair versus hair. Then after everything that happened with Sonya Deville and Mandy, obviously they don't talk about it because obviously Mandy and Sonya were together and they're supposed to be portrayed as rivals. But yeah, so obviously I'm not going to get too far into it. You can look it up if you really need to. It looks like that Sonya wanted to take some time away, maybe pursue some acting stuff. Maybe she just wanted to kind of just step out of the spotlight for a little bit. Hopefully it's not for too long because I think she's great and I think she could do a lot. I think that her promos have been fire. I think she's been looking just absolutely fire with her suit game and just her ring gear and everything. Um, this was a really physical match. Obviously, Mandy was not doing her usual entrance of kind of the slow motion with the vignette. She was just all business. Got the slick back hair now, not the two piece, just one piece ring gear. Um, Throwing out V triggers left and right, or at least attempting to throw out V triggers. They fight to the outside. There was this really cool spot where they set up a table, even though they didn't use it, like go through it. But at one point, Sonya's on one side, Mandy's on the other, and Mandy's just throwing chairs, sliding them across, trying to hit Sonya. Sonya's ducking. It was actually really, I've never seen that before, which I thought was really cool. So we get to the finish. Mandy counters Sonya using the fairy tale ending, hits three V triggers. Because I'm sorry, Sonya was trying to do her own fairy tale ending. Mandy counters, hits three V triggers, hits the fairy tale ending, another V trigger after that for the win. So Mandy wins. Sonya slides out. She's beside herself. She's absolutely just freaking out, so pissed off, goes to the back. This was probably the biggest win of Mandy's career at least that I've seen, and it was well deserved. She looked great. Both of them really looked. This was just like just a really tough battle between two people that just hated each other. At least that's how they portrayed it. So it was really good there. Otis comes running down with the briefcase. Oh yeah, that's right. He is Money in the Bank winner, and he wasn't even on the card. He's coming out there, does like the Macho Man. Elizabeth puts her on his shoulders, celebrating. She tries to do the worm. It's terrible, and she's a good dancer. I mean, if you look at her TikTok, she's definitely a good dancer. So I don't know what that was, but I just thought it was really cute and funny. But they actually, they look good together. And the biggest thing is that this is like one of the few examples of WWE really long-term storybooking. I mean, when you think about it, they were together, they were a tag team, they were the best of friends. Then all of a sudden, you could start to see how Mandy was maybe, trying to be in the forefront. And then all of a sudden, there was, Otis came in, and Sonya was, kind of trying to mess with Otis. Then it turned into Mandy and Sonya were at odds. Then they went all the way through, and this has been months and months and months in the making. And then finally, it came to fruition where they hated each other. They fought. Sonya was getting the best of Mandy. Mandy got her hair cut by Sonya. Finally, she says, "You know what? Hair versus hair." Obviously, that changed into loser leaves WWE. But whether or not it was hair versus hair or loser leaves WWE, they hit the crescendo, and there they are. Long-term storybooking. I don't understand why WWE doesn't do that more. They could. They obviously have the ability to. They have the people, the writers, and the minds in place to be able to do it. They just got to do it. So next we get the street fight, Dominic Mysterio versus Seth Rollins. This was just freaking awesome. So we get Seth rocking the Halloween Havoc 97, the Phantom gear by Ray, which looked really cool. I liked Dom's music and his gear. The only thing I didn't like was the fact that his jacket has like a hood on it. I was just expecting him this whole time to take it off, and then I realized he's wrestling with a freaking hood. Obviously, Seth once in a while would grab it, or like he was doing some punches and it would like pop over his head. You have to flip it back. Made no sense. So Seth is abusing Dominic to start. Dom with a couple nice arm drags and then a kip up. Obviously showing that he has the talent. Dom gets a kendo stick and Seth runs. Gets the advantage when they get back in the ring. Dom really needs to get rid of the hood. I wrote that note down. Seth is taunting Ray as he's beating up Dominic. Ray wants to get in, but Dom waves him off. Seth goes for a chair for a stomp. Dom counters with the drop toe hold on the chair, which I thought was pretty cool. We get a buckle bomb countered into a Rana that sends Seth into the corner. Tilt-a-whirl DDT by Dom for a 2 count. Looked really good. Dom gets the kendo stick and just shatters it over Seth, just beating the shit out of him. You saw the marks. We get a superplex into a Falcon Arrow by Seth on Dominic, but Dominic kicks out. Seth back is ripped. Apparently I wrote that note. Seth now has his own kendo stick shots going on. Dom with the side Russian leg sweep from the middle rope on Seth through a table that was set up earlier in the ring. Frog splash by Dominic for a 2 count. He didn't get maybe as high as Montez Ford, but Montez Ford literally will scrape the ceiling, but it was pretty good. We get the chair slid too far into the ring. Seth is able to hit a super kick and a huge power bomb that looked rough. His back just slammed against the ring mat. Dom's jacket gets ripped off. Seth goes to town with the kendo stick. Dominic's mother comes to the ramp. Ray goes up there to try and make sure she doesn't get involved. Buddy starts to get involved, starts fighting Ray. Ray saves Dom from his eyes in the stairs. But then Ray gets handcuffed to the rope. Seth and Buddy turn their attention to Ray's wife, Dominic's mother. As they start to approach, Dominic comes in there, starts fighting them off, eventually hits a 619 off the apron, and then throws Seth back in the ring, hits another 619 in the ring, goes for another frog splash, but Seth gets the knees up, and then while Ray is looking and he knows he can't do anything because he's handcuffed to the rope, Seth gives Dom a huge stomp for the win. But you know what? Dominic loses absolutely nothing. This was a fantastic match. It was great storytelling. I mean, just everyone involved, even Dominic's mother, Ray's wife, just showing the emotion by not showing emotion, just looked great. Showing up on the ramp. What I think this is potentially just setting up a tag match at Payback, which is next week on Sunday. I know Ray has always said that he wants to share the ring with his son. I mean, what better way to do that than a tag match? Because I think a Ray versus Seth match, another one, I don't think should be on Payback. To be honest, I think they should ride this momentum. Dominic looking great. I think this would be a perfect him and Seth and Buddy versus Ray and Dom. I think that would be awesome. Um, so then we get our second, just absolutely fucking fire. Excuse my language, just a fire match. Sasha versus Asuka for the Raw Women's title. Sasha goes right for the damaged knee of Asuka. They mentioned Kairi Sane was forced into retirement, which I find very funny because I don't think she's retiring. I think she just went home to be with her husband, fiance, not sure, and wrestle in another promotion. Asuka with the knee bar on the outside. Asuka misses the kick into the post. We get Sasha with a float over power bomb onto the floor. This was one of the sickest spots of the entire night. So Asuka is basically facing the ropes with her back to the ring, but she's on the outside of the apron. And then Sasha does kind of the float over into the power bomb like Johnny Gargano did to Cameron Grimes the night previous at Takeover, which he's done before, and the thud of Asuka hitting the mat on the floor was just thunderous. Like I literally was like, I shocked, I gasped because I was really worried for Asuka at that point because that looked so crazy. So let's see here. So Asuka barely gets back into the ring, kicks out of the cover. Sasha with a stiff kick to the face in the corner. Asuka gets Sasha in the electric chair, drops her with a face buster into a knee bar, then switches that to an ankle lock. Asuka then, when they're fighting up on the top, she drops Sasha with a DDT from the top turnbuckle. I thought Sasha was dead. This was like the second like holy shit spot. Like that would have gotten a holy shit chant if there were actual people in the crowd. Sasha is able to kick out. We get a stiff missile drop kick by Asuka for another 2 count. Asuka then pulls Sasha out of the corner, but Sasha counters into a code breaker, kind of like pulls her out, and as she's like lifted in the air, she pulls Asuka down into the code breaker. Looked really smooth. Another 2 count. Sasha misses a frog splash. Bayley gives her a pep talk. Asuka gets the Asuka lock, but Sasha's fighting out of it. Counters into a bank statement. As Sasha tries to flip, where she pushes off the ropes to kind of get more distance to the middle of the ring. But Asuka then gets the Asuka lock again. Sasha is able to get out of it again. We get a hip attack that misses both of them as Bayley was on the apron. But then Bayley catches a back fist by Asuka, which has been like her kryptonite, knocks her to the ground. We get another Asuka lock. Sasha's literally calling out for Bayley for her help, and there was nobody there. And then Sasha taps. Sasha and Bayley just look so defeated. Obviously, Bayley hands her tag team title match, tag team title belt, but that's obviously not going to console her. We then get hold on real quick. So I had Seth. I had 7 points of confidence on that. I wanted Dom to win, but I figured Seth would win, so I got that. I only had 2 points of confidence on the Asuka Sasha match, and then I had on the the loser leaves WWE. I actually had Sonya winning it, and I had 6 points of confidence, so I get no points for that. Anyways, so then we get our WWE title match, Drew McIntyre versus Randy Orton. This one was interesting. This was a pretty good match. This wasn't as good as I think it could be. I feel like we're going to get, kind of just because of the finish, I feel like we're going to get a rematch at Payback, which is just kind of funny that we're setting up the road to Payback. But we get an HBK promo. Hopes Drew does unto Randy what he cannot do. Randy early on is trying to hit the RKO a couple times, was pushed away. Drew gets posted on the outside. Drew's getting tossed around outside um, on the desk. Then Drew is dropped onto the desk, but it doesn't break. Looked rough. Drew gets suplexed off the desk onto the floor. Randy's in complete control at this point. Drew does a knee breaker. Randy straight kick to Drew's knee. We get Drew busted a little over above his nose. Drew gets the figure four. Tries Randy tries to reverse it, but Drew holds through the spin. We get Randy pulls the ref to do a thumb to the eye to Drew. Um, Drew with a massive chop on Orton that just completely drops into the ground. We get a top rope clothesline from Drew. Does a kip up. He's fired up. Drew gets in the trio woe, but as Randy almost looks like he's going to do a Del Rio stomp, Drew pulls himself up, then throws Randy back like a belly to belly suplex into the ring. Orton with a cut on his head too. Now he's bleeding. We get a future shock DDT only for a 2 count by Drew. Drew then hits a Glasgow kiss, and then down over the top of to the floor. We get Randy with a draping DDT. Randy goes for the punt attempt, but Drew hits a power bomb. He misses a claymore. He misses a claymore. They then set up for a backslide. So Drew gets a surprise backslide for the 1, 2, 3. He wins on the backslide. So you're just like, that's why it came out of nowhere. Kind of like, really, a backslide? That's what won him. I mean, nobody actually hit their finisher. No one hit an RKO. No one hit a claymore. Obviously, that's going to happen in their next match, which is probably going to be at Payback, which is in a week. It's a little weird. We then finally get the Universal title match, Falls Count Anywhere. So apparently this was changed at some point during the past couple of days. I just didn't see it. So it's Falls Count Anywhere, Braun versus Bray. Let's just see where we're at. Okay. And for that match, I had 4 points of confidence, but I had Randy winning it because I really didn't think they were going to do that. But now it just seems like they're going to reverse and give Randy the win at Payback. So we get some piped in boos for Braun, which I thought was interesting. The Fiend laughs off the first attack by Braun, hits a standing STO, then hits like his 2 neck breakers that he did to Finn Balor, and then Braun's like breaking his neck back in place. Bray is using a toolbox. Braun sends Bray through the barricade. Bray is chokeslammed on the desk. That doesn't break. This desk was like the hardest desk I've ever seen WWE use, because for Drew McIntyre and Bray Wyatt to get slammed on it and it not break, come on. Braun hits Bray with the steps. Braun with the power slam. Bray kicks out. They fight up the ramp. Bray sent into the screen. They're fighting in gorilla position, which apparently nobody's there. Bray hits Sister Abigail, but only gets a 2 count. They then battle back out to the ramp. Braun gets sent into the screen. It busts up a little bit. He's busted open on his head. Bray hits the mandible claw. Braun shoves Bray into the ring. That kind of breaks it up. We get Braun sent into the screen. Bray kicks out of another power slam. Then Braun grabs a box cutter from the mat, from the toolbox on the outside, and starts cutting up the mat, pulling up the underneath mat, exposing the wood. Screams out, "Why won't you die?" This was kind of made him look really stupid because Bray ends up hitting 2 Sister Abigails and a Uranagi on the wood for the win. We have a new Universal Champion, The Fiend, and just when you think, all right, okay, it was I thought The Fiend was going to win. I picked The Fiend to win, so I got 3 points of confidence on that one. But what was more interesting was what happened after. All of a sudden, someone gets speared, and it's the Fiend, and you're wondering, like, wait, who is that? Oh, wait, it's Roman Reigns. Welcome back, Roman Reigns. I think it says knock everyone out and leave, or destroy everyone and leave, whatever his shirt said. So he takes out the Fiend, goes to the outside, takes out Braun, hits a spear, hits him with so many chairs. Eventually, the chair shots were just kind of just hitting the floor. They were looking a little bad. You could have did a little better with it, but just beat the shit out of Braun, beat the shit out of the Fiend. Said, you're not the monster unless I'm here. So yeah, he's back. The big dog is back. He's holding the title up high. I think this is something huge for WWE. They definitely could use Roman Reigns. Hopefully they keep him in this kind of either he's an anti-hero or he's just a heel, but just like normal good guy Roman just wasn't cutting it anymore. So hopefully they keep it the way it is now. He also got some kind of dental work because his teeth game was just like shiny as all hell. So, but I'm not the only one who said that. Anyway, so that is the SummerSlam results review reaction. Interesting though, no Alexa Bliss for the Universal Title match, even though she was heavily featured in the recaps. No Retribution, but even though they showed, I think at least one, maybe two video packages of Retribution, not a single solitary, mention, seeing of them, or no lights flicker, no nothing. So I thought that was interesting, especially if you want to build up this group. No mention of Raw Underground, but that makes a little sense. So yeah, overall, really good pay-per-view. I enjoyed it. I had fun with it. I was very shocked. I didn't see a bunch of those things coming. My picks obviously, showed that I didn't see a lot of it coming. Once again, I apologize for the difference in the audio issues, but obviously, like I said, they're cutting a tree out back, and the chainsaw is going on pretty much since this morning. Um, so yeah, there you have it. As always, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, comment. Let me know what I am doing. Mostly bad, I'm sure, but maybe some good. Got to get them views up. Watch for a little bit. I mean, if you're past this point, you definitely watch the whole thing. So, yay. Anyways, yeah, social media's down there, and as always, I will be back. Obviously, if I need to throw out a video for something, I will. If not, I'll be back this weekend with my AEW and WWE Week in Review. Also, I'll be doing a payback preview predictions and a results review video. So yeah, be safe, love each other, and bye now.